Um, to be honest, I've only read Shogun, and I've read, I think, like the first three chapters of Taipan. Um, but I've been kind of it's been a little rough reading lately. I don't have the same amount of time lately to read as much as I used to, but I have been buying a lot of books though, so I need to get back on my reading schedule again.
Can you drive a car in any of the Fallout games?
Only number two. Number two is the only one that lets you add access to a vehicle.
Do you know why that is?
It's because of a NPC that they added into it that was working on a car that you met, and you convinced him and helped him out to repair it. Apparently, within the universe, no one else apparently has any mechanical knowledge whatsoever, which is surprising for repairing the vehicle.
That feels fishy.
Yeah. I think it was just lazy development on the development team to not let you have access to actual vehicles.
How many voices did you go through before you settled on one?
I went through, I think, about like 20 different voices to try and come up with for before settling on one, because I was trying to see how comfortable I felt with the character and all, and like how comfortable I felt for the specific voice needed, and if I could reach that comfort level if needed.
Is that a normal amount?
For a project, for most projects, yes, but there are some projects where I get lucky and I don't need to do 20 different vocal takes to see where I can be at the right pitch and tempo for what I need for the vocal sync.
I know you haven't played with me in a role playing game for years. I know this is. I know you have no experience in how I've improved at all as a GM. Your memories of me as a player are biased and tainted with time. But do you think I could run a World of Darkness game?
By default, I'm going to say yeah, because from what if I look back at what I remember, right, that's your jam. I would refer to that as your that's your jam. That's your cup of tea, so to speak. And I would assume that with time comes wisdom, and with that increased wisdom skewer, you'd be able to do it better than you did before. In the same way that, like, in the last couple of years, my storytelling ability has improved. I found my niche, like the type of story that I like to play or I like to run. And I found the type of, what would be the word? Not just the theme, but like the tone that I like to play. So I would assume that you've done the same over the years. Like, what's your type now? Do you like epics? Do you like political stuff? Are you a heist kind of dude? I would assume you're still kind of into a little bit of Gothica, Vampire the Masquerade / World of Darkness kind of thing.
Like 3 or 4 months ago, every week you would bring the DC deck building game, and you kind of
great game
that for the Star Wars Unlimited game now. Why is that?
The short answer is Star Wars Unlimited is a better game. DC deck building is great, and I've enjoyed it for the last 10, 11 years. It's got 27 expansions. It's done very well for itself, and it goes back on the shelf every once in a while, and it's back on the shelf right now. Yes, getting back to the question. So Star Wars itself is it's just fundamentally a better game all around. Like it's fast. There's lots of strategy. You aren't sitting around waiting for your opponent to do things on their turn. And games end pretty quickly, like usually within 8 to 15 minutes, whereas DC deck building could take up to an hour. And it's also good to challenge yourself with different players, different people. And so with DC deck building, if you only have, 5 or 6 different people you're playing against, it can get kind of stale. Whereas with the Star Wars, I'm on to my 28th deck, I think, and it only came out 6 weeks ago.
What do you do to relax?
I sit around the house. I sometimes like to play Magic the Gathering, as you know. That's most.
I know you like to play Magic the Gathering, but not all formats of that. I know you have a hatred for at least one format of Magic the Gathering.
Yes, I have many problems with Commander.
How many years between New Vegas and this TV show?
Maybe 20.
20 years is 10 to 20 years is a lot of time for an organization to completely change. You know that, right?
True, but the thing is, the Brotherhood's always had a strict doctrine and style because they had this whole thing of chain of command. The chain must not be broken, that sort of thing. They were very militaristic because they were based off the remnant of the U.S. Army. So they had that whole military side to them.